Welcome to Daily English Room. Today's topic is sports. Do you play sports regularly?
Yes, I do. I've been playing badminton twice a week for the past few years. It's quite popular in China, and I often play with my colleagues after work. I find it's a great way to stay active, especially since I spend most of my day sitting at a computer.
What is the most popular sport in your country?
In China, football has become incredibly popular in recent years, with many people following both our national team and international leagues. However, table tennis still holds a special place in our sporting culture. We call it our national sport. It's interesting because even with all our modern technology and new sports gaining popularity, you'll still find table tennis tables in most neighborhoods and parks.
What's your favorite sport?
My favorite sport is definitely badminton. I love it because it combines quick thinking with physical agility, which suits my analytical mindset as a software engineer. I particularly enjoy the strategic elements. It's like solving a complex coding problem in real time. Plus, it's a great way to stay active despite my desk job.
Do you often watch sports on TV?
Yes, I frequently watch badminton tournaments and esports competitions on streaming platforms. Being in tech, I actually prefer watching on my tablet or phone because I can access real-time statistics and multiple camera angles. I especially enjoy watching major international tournaments where Chinese athletes compete.
Do you prefer playing sports or watching them?
I definitely prefer playing sports, particularly badminton. As a software engineer, I spend most of my day sitting and thinking, so active participation in sports gives me necessary physical movement. When you're coding, you're always hands-on and involved, and I like having that same level of engagement in my sports activities.
Are there any sports you don't like? Why?
I'm not particularly fond of boxing or similar combat sports. As someone who works with creating and building things, I find it difficult to watch sports focused on striking opponents. I understand the skill and strategy involved, but I prefer sports that emphasize technique and precision without direct physical confrontation. That's probably why I'm more drawn to sports like badminton.
How do you think sports contribute to mental health and emotional well-being?
In the tech industry, where burnout is common, I found badminton to be my stress relief valve. The focus required during a game helps clear my mind of coding problems, and the social aspect of playing with colleagues helps build better work relationships. Many tech companies in China now recognize that encouraging sports activities can improve employee mental health and productivity.
What role should sports play in promoting public health?
From a tech perspective, I've seen how health apps and wearable devices are making the connection between sports and public health more tangible. In China, many companies now integrate exercise into the workday after seeing data about improved employee health. I've helped develop workplace wellness apps that gamify physical activity, turning daily exercise into a fun challenge. The key is making health metrics accessible and understandable to everyone.
How do you think the relationship between sports and education should be balanced?
In China, there's often pressure to focus solely on academics, but I believe this needs to change. From my experience in tech, I've noticed that employees who played sports in school tend to have better teamwork and problem-solving skills. Physical activity actually helped me think more clearly during my programming studies. I think we need a system that recognizes sports as complementary to academic achievement, not competing with it.
How has social media changed the way people engage with sports?
Working in tech, I've witnessed firsthand how social media has transformed sports consumption. Apps like WeChat and Douyin have created new ways for fans to interact with sports content. Short-form videos of training tips and highlight reels have made sports more accessible. However, the challenge is managing misinformation. As a software engineer, I see how quickly false sports news can spread through algorithms.
How do most people in your country keep fit?
In China, there's a beautiful mix of traditional and modern fitness approaches. Many older people practice Tai Chi or Qigong in parks early in the morning, while younger generations prefer modern gyms. Public parks have free exercise equipment, which is very popular. In the tech community, we're seeing a trend of using fitness apps and smart devices to track health goals. Square dancing, or Guangchong Wu, is also incredibly popular, especially among middle-aged and elderly people.
How have traditional sports in your country adapted to modern times?
Traditional Chinese martial arts have evolved significantly. Many schools now combine traditional kung fu with modern fitness techniques. They use technology for training analysis and even offer online classes. It's fascinating to see ancient practices adapt to the digital age.
What impact do you think virtual reality will have on sports in the future?
As a software engineer, I'm excited about VR's potential. I've already seen applications where you can practice basketball shots or analyze your table tennis technique in virtual environments. It could revolutionize how we train.
How do you think sports facilities in cities should evolve to meet future needs?
In Shenzhen, we need more multi-purpose facilities that can be used for different sports. Smart buildings that can transform spaces based on needs would be ideal for our dense urban environment.
What role should sports play in addressing social issues?
As someone working in tech, I believe sports programs can help address the issue of screen addiction. In China, we need more initiatives that encourage young people to balance digital life with physical activity.
How can sports events become more environmentally sustainable?
In China, we're seeing more eco-friendly marathons using biodegradable water cups and solar-powered timing systems. Technology can help make events more sustainable while maintaining quality.
Tell me about a memorable sports event you attended or watched. What made it special?
I'll never forget watching the 2008 Beijing Olympics opening ceremony in person. I was still a student then, and my family was lucky enough to get tickets. The scale of the performance was breathtaking. Thousands of drummers moving in perfect synchronization, the incredible light shows, and the proud feeling of seeing our country showcase its culture to the world. But what really touched me was watching the elderly couple sitting next to us. They had tears in their eyes during the ceremony. They told us they never imagined seeing such an event in their lifetime. That human connection made the whole experience even more meaningful.
What's the most unusual or interesting sport you've ever tried? How was that experience?
Being a software engineer, people are usually surprised when I tell them about my experience with dragon boat racing. It started when our company formed a team for a local technology company's competition. At first, I was skeptical. I spend most of my time with computers, not paddles. The training was intense. We had to learn to paddle in perfect synchronization, which is harder than any coding problem I faced. We practiced at dawn before work, and I can't count how many times we nearly capsized. The most interesting part was how it changed our team dynamics at work. When you've been soaking wet in a boat at 5 a.m. with your project manager, somehow those code review meetings become much less intimidating. We didn't win the competition, but we did manage not to finish last, which felt like a huge victory. Now, 3 years later, several of us still meet up for recreational dragon boating on weekends.
If you could create a new sport that combines elements from your culture and profession, what would it be like?
As a software engineer from China, I create something called Code Tai Chi. Imagine combining the mindful movements of Tai Chi with programming concepts. Players would move through a series of flowing positions, each representing different programming functions or algorithms. For example, a for loop might be a circular movement, while an if statement could be a branching motion. Teams would have to work together to debug their routine by identifying and correcting wrong movements. I'd incorporate traditional Chinese elements like the concept of yin and yang to represent binary code. The best part would be the mental-physical connection. You'd be exercising both your body and coding logic simultaneously. I actually started experimenting with this idea during our company's wellness program, and surprisingly, it's helped some colleagues better understand complex programming concepts.
Tell me about a time when sports helped you overcome a personal challenge or difficult situation.
When I first moved to Shenzhen for my software engineering job, I felt incredibly isolated. The city is huge, and spending long hours coding can be quite solitary. I was struggling with the transition from university life to corporate work, often staying late at the office and barely interacting with anyone outside of work meetings. Everything changed when I joined the company's basketball team. At first, I was hesitant. I hadn't played seriously since high school. But the team welcomed me, and soon we were practicing twice a week. Basketball gave me a reason to leave my desk at a reasonable time, and the physical activity helped clear my mind after long days of coding. More importantly, it helped me build relationships outside of work discussions. There was this one game where I made a crucial three-pointer in the last minute. The celebration afterward made me feel truly part of the community for the first time. Now, 3 years later, some of my closest friends in Shenzhen are from that basketball team. We even started a weekend coding club where we teach kids programming, and many of them are children of my basketball teammates.
Looking ahead 20 years, how do you hope sports will have evolved to make a positive impact on society and future generations?
Looking ahead, I hope technology will make sports truly accessible to everyone, regardless of physical limitations or economic background. I envision a future where virtual and physical sports blend seamlessly, creating new forms of competition that emphasize both mental and physical skills. In China, we're already seeing how e-sports and traditional sports are converging. But more importantly, I hope sports will help bridge the growing digital divide, using technology to connect people rather than isolate them. Maybe we'll have global competitions where teams from different countries compete in hybrid sports that combine physical activity with problem solving, promoting both international cooperation and healthy competition.
That's all for today's Daily English Room Conversation Practice. Thank you for joining us. If you enjoyed this video, like, leave a comment, and hit the subscribe button. See you next time.